What new technologies and services are you showcasing here this year?
Well, in terms of new technologies, spinning for the space industry is relatively new, particularly from our own perspective. We've not been involved in the space sector in the UK for a long time. What we're now doing, though, is approaching the sector with spinning technology, which allows us to form a part more quickly than the traditional forging and machining option. So, being in Bremen, it's a great opportunity to highlight the spinning process and also demonstrate to people more cost-effective, time-efficient ways of manufacturing parts.
Okay. So you're a US-owned company, but how are you able to take advantage of the US knowledge with ITAR issues?
You're quite right. We're US owned, and they have over in the States a huge experience and track record going back 20 or so years in terms of manufacturing space components in the US space industry. Our business in Newcastle, we had some challenges in the oil and gas sector a few years ago, and what this did was it forced us into other areas, and space was an obvious one. The challenges in America, or taking technology from America, are ITAR, and what we found is that we're able to transfer technology over to the UK, mainly in terms of the spinning process, to allow us to overcome any ITAR issues and supply ITAR-free product from the UK.
What trends or technologies do you think we're going to see more of in the next few years?
I think certainly moving from the forging and machining option to spinning and subsequent machining. I think we'll see that because what we're hearing all the time is quicker to market, lower cost, and so I think that really lends itself to what we're doing. We've certainly seen that in the aviation sector, and you see on the stand various parts which traditionally were forged and machined, and we're now spinning them and machining them, which is a quicker and a better way of making that part.
What changes have you seen in the space industry in the last few years?
Well, it's a difficult one to say, given we've not really been involved. I think the key change for us seems to be the response time and need to be quicker to market and more cost effective. And that's what really lends itself to the spinning process. I think what we do see as well is obviously the Americans are, dare I say it, a bit quicker to market than we are. They're taking a much higher risk type mentality. And I believe the sort of European industry needs to follow that lead. Otherwise, we won't really be there.
Why is attending this event so important to you?
Attending this event is very important to us to get our name into the market. We are supplying space components into the market already, but we're not really broadly known. And so the big challenge for us really stems back to the early engineering of a project. We need to be able to, dare I say, educate engineers that actually spinning is an alternative process, which is extremely valuable in its own particular area. It's not the panacea for everything, but certainly if we can get the spun option out right at the early design stage, people will then consider it. And having considered it, then maybe in 5 years' time, we'll be talking to people about real projects.
So are you hoping to make new connections and partnerships here at the show?
Yes, we are. Certainly new partnerships, new connections. Even though we are supplying into some of the primes are vast, and the number of people that we need to talk to within those primes, it's a significant number, and we can always broaden the knowledge base within those companies such that ultimately, as I say, for the programs going forwards, we're able to be there and supply a spun option.